Is the UFC pushing quantity over quality, and is it getting shit? Before I get into that, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe as I have brand new videos every single week. It really feels as though the UFC has taken a massive dip in quality over the last couple of years, and this year doesn't seem to be getting any different. The year started off with some promise though, but it went downhill fairly quickly. UFC 311 kicked things off, and to be fair, it was a fun card. We had Yuri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Merab Dvalishvili dominated Umar Nurmagomedov, and it was great to see all the Team Khabib fans crying. I f***ing loved it. But the main event fell flat. Arman Tsarukyan pulled out with an alleged back injury, and poor Moicano, he had to step up against Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. And as much as I love Moicano, he should not have been anywhere near a title fight. Islam destroyed him just as everyone expected. Then we had UFC 312, a massive letdown. Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis turned into a total snooze fest. Strickland just refused to push the pace, proved he's a boring and shouldn't be anywhere near the title picture. The only highlight for me was Zhang Weili dismantling Tatiana Suarez. It was crazy how many people were doubting Zhang, and I'm glad she silenced the doubters. But again, one interesting fight does not make a whole pay-per-view. Then UFC 313, complete dud. Alex Pereira fought Magomed Ankalaev, and it was just a boring fight. It was a fight that we've been waiting for such a long time, and it just didn't live up to the hype. And we got a rematch between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev, a fight that literally no one asked for. UFC 314 though, banger of a card. Every fight on the main card had real stakes, every fight was fun to watch, and that's what we need more of. Fights need to mean something and need to be entertaining, but it's not looking so good in the next few events either. We have UFC 315 coming up, but who really gives a f***, right? Belal Muhammad is one of the most boring fighters on the planet, and now he's fighting Jack Della Maddalena, who, let's be real, doesn't deserve a title shot at all, and probably doesn't stand much of a chance against Belal. Then we have UFC 316. Sean O'Malley is somehow getting a rematch against Merab Dvalishvili, another undeserved title shot. And is this fight really going to play out any different to last time? And we don't have anything at all for UFC 317 yet, and time is ticking away. 318 seems good in the fact that we've got Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. That's a fun fight, and it's got some good stakes to it. If Max beats Dustin, then he's beaten two top lightweights, and he could move towards a title shot. And if Dustin wins, he'll finally win a title. Yeah, sure, it's the BMF belt, but at least it's something, and it's a good legacy fight for both guys. And sure, it's a fun fight, but like I said before, one good fight does not make a good pay-per-view. It's not just the matchups though. We have some incredibly poor champions right now. Islam Makhachev and John Jones are refusing to fight their contenders. Magomed Ankalaev and Belal Muhammad are boring as f***. Dricus du Plessis fights like an idiot, but I guess at least he's fun to watch, but it's hard to be overly invested in his fights. Volk is a champ again, thank God. I expect him to be more active. Merab is proving to be a very active champion, and of course you've got Pantoja as well, but the UFC doesn't care about the flyweight division, and they don't promote it at all. Because they don't care, I don't care. So that leaves us with two exciting active champions, Volk and Merab. Two. That's not enough for a whole organisation. It wasn't long ago that we had people like Adesanya, Volkanovski and Kamaru Usman all active and all dominant. We need those types of champions back, but everyone is just happy to wait it out. Look at someone like Ilia Topuria. We had such a long wait between the Volk and Max fight, and now he's off and he's just happy to wait for his shot at lightweight. He screwed over an entire division. It's hard to take any new champion seriously in the featherweight division when the former champion is just sitting around and waiting. So I cannot get invested in this division. It just feels like fighters aren't hungry anymore. They're willing to just play the waiting game and wait for that perfect opportunity. And it does work. Look at how many title shots someone like Colby Covington got just by sitting out. There's been a precedent for it. So you can't even blame the fighters at this point. The worst problem of them all is quantity over quality. The deal with ESPN has ruined the UFC. It means they have to put on far too many events every year. The roster is bloated and everything is spread too thin. If the UFC eventually moves to a streaming platform like Netflix or something like that, there should be less pressure to put on as many events. And I think if we went down to one pay-per-view and one fight night per month, the quality of fights would be so much better. It's weird to be even advocating for less events, but it's what the UFC needs right now. A friend of mine even suggested the idea of an off season. At first, I didn't love the idea, but now that I've kind of reflected on it, it makes a lot of sense. Imagine if the UFC took off, say, January and March, and then you give the fighters a chance to rest, heal up, get any injuries sorted out, whatever surgeries they need, then come out swinging in April. Everyone will be chomping at the bit to come back and fight. Every card would feel bigger, every card would feel more important, and every card would feel more special. But what do you guys think? Is an off-season crazy, or could it work? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you everyone for watching. If you can like and subscribe, it really does help the channel out.